Welcome to Divine Insights. We're so glad you're joining us. This is something new for me. This is Holly. I'm Patricia. Holly's been helping me do some awakened and global readings, and we've been getting some really good information. I always need someone who knows what questions to bring to the table, and Holly does that, and she also can ask questions during the session that kind of takes us places. And so it's been very interesting, and I wanted to share a reading from excuse me, June 26th. We did a very interesting reading, and I knew at that point we were going to have to share this with the public, and it's going on YouTube. So Holly came to the table with questions about moving to 5D. And when we, when we started in on that question, I could literally see that they were coming up with a visual. It was a tapestry that was representing what they were showing me. And the tapestry was dimensional, but it was all one tapestry. It just went out forever. And the main thing about this tapestry was it showed all these dimensions. However, it showed us our dimension. And I believe I was really describing more of the denseness of Earth and what it would feel like comparably. So if you look at a tapestry and you look at all the threads, this was burlap. And they said, this is you, that every human is like a burlap thread. It's thick, it's not pliable, it doesn't move well, it doesn't even work well, right? And then they showed me way out into the other realms, and they were more fine thread, and it was more silk. And they said, look how it flows. So all this imagery started coming in. So when you asked me about the 5D.
Yeah, well, the original question was, once we are awakened or ascended, what will it feel like, and will it feel different? So we didn't use the word, talk about 3D, 5D until the very tail end of it. But we were asking, what will it feel like? How will it be different? And that's when you got this beautiful image.
Yeah, so it was the feel of it. So it flowed, believe me. And what I was describing was what I was feeling, that you are the thread, you are it, you are this, you're part of this realm. And that's how it felt like. This is the realm of this dense, thick energy, and that's what it feels like to be you. And so it's kind of funny because I've been getting a lot of confirmations on what I saw on different levels. But this, and I'm not sure exactly how this came through, but we started talking about the awakening and what this really means. So this is my confirmation information. The awakening is the awareness of self, who we really are, the I am presence. I said I am presence probably a lot through that, because I think after that I kept right even saying, I'm going to start using those words. This is when we awaken to who we really truly are, when we become, right, what we want. When we change, we're going to change our fabric. We're no longer going to be the burlap. We're going to be a different material. Therefore, the changes of the fabric changes the reality. And that came really clear, and that was more about the awakening. Did I say anything at that point about, like, this is what we're doing? It felt like that was kind of like a definite message of this is part of the awakening, moving and shifting.
And it was definitely that every person needed to get in touch and understand it's a very individual movement. We can't, we can drop hints for other people, but each person will have to come to grips with the God that is within them and the fact that we have that power that we don't realize and we've never been conditioned to believe we have.
Exactly, exactly. So as we raise our consciousness, we become this different thread, and therefore we can move through this tapestry different, right? Then the reality becomes different for us, our perception of this reality, our feeling of this reality. And as we open up more, like we have to open up our heart, we have to open our mind to different things here. And if we don't, we're going to stay stagnant. So it's really important that we open to these new ideas, to possibilities. That's going to be huge. We're going to be talking about that later. So as we become more open, we become more fluid. And then we're no longer this burlap. We change. That's what the vision was. We become a different part of the tapestry. That, when she asked about 5D, that's when that came in. Like, that's what it's going to feel like. You're not going to just flip from one to the next. It's literally this you becoming something new that takes you to a new part. So it will shift you. You will shift you. And they call it 5D. Again, labels. I'm not fond of labels, but they even said, I think,
Well, when I asked, they said I could understand why you would use that term, not exactly, but that's the way,
yes,
that's the language that will help transition our understanding to get to that point.
yes, yes.
And whether we didn't specify third dimension, fifth dimension versus third density or fifth density.
Yes, it was that when she asked that, I literally didn't feel right with even the words. Like it's not quite that. So we're using these words because we don't understand. And so I think this vision was to help us understand. So what we also have to understand is this is already done. I said something in the reading and then I got another confirmation on this. It's just we are the silk. We're just pretending to be burlap, right? We're already all the dimensions. We are all things, all realms. We're the energy. We're everything. And that's hard to grasp, put your mind around, but that's part of the awakening. So the more we work with that energy, the better we're going to do with this. So if we're everything, the micro, the macro, we're all things. Since really what we're doing though, we're focusing in our consciousness on this burlap. So we're already all it, and we're just focusing here in this moment in time. So it's our current consciousness that is making it feel and perceiving it to be this heavy burlap. It's mud. It's not pliable. Very, very dense energy. So, and we're experiencing it in this 3D realm. So all very interesting ways of looking at this, right? So since we're already it, and we're already everything, we can call our higher self, our higher consciousness, right? That's already everything. We'll call that, you can call it whatever you want, but that's what we're connecting to, that higher self that already knows. This is accessible to everyone. This is what I do when I read. I'm connecting to my higher self, which is then connected to the all, to the everything, to the God, right? So that's why I tell people, I'm not doing anything that you cannot do. Anyone can do this. It's just doing and believing. That's the only difference here. So this connection, which by the way is part of our awakening, to understand that we are connected, you can connect to your silk because you are the silk already. You are already your expanded self. You're already there. You just need to connect to that, right? So it's accessible to all humans, all humans. We're already there. We're just connecting our consciousness that is focused here in this burlap to that silk. All knowledge is accessible. So the all-knowing is accessible to you, right? How do people know past events or future events? They're assessing what they're seeing and feeling and perceiving through their consciousness. So then she came up with a real good doozy, and it says, and I'm not sure, I didn't write down the question exactly because I do have notes, so I'm not trying to go off of what my guided self said. But how did you remember how exactly you phrase this? Is basically how you change the frequencies of lower frequencies. And I think we're going to have to watch our terms, but I think it was more on the lines of a specific, a number 5 and the first letter of George, and it would be a tower.
And the question had to do with, there are so many healing frequencies out there, and as this becomes something that we're all able to do, but we don't realize we're able to do, but we can also use our frequencies and use our energy to change and shift things out there that are not perhaps in humanity's best interest. And I had this perception that it was a sharing of your energy, a shooting out.
Which we've always had.
And they had some very interesting things to say about that.
Yes, they did. This was amazing. Even being under, I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. Because I have always said, and they've shown me this as well, that we're emoting, right? We emote this light. We can heal by sending out the love and light. And they said, but if you were it, you know, right? We're connected to the all. And again, they use the I am presence in this time. So we are the I am presence. Once we realize we are everything and we are it and we are all energy, and they said something really interesting. We think that this is outside of ourselves, right? So we're pushing this outside of ourselves, or we're thinking that our answers or our healing are outside of ourselves, and nothing is outside of ourselves. We are it. That's part of the awakening, to realize we are truly it. So nothing outside of ourselves can heal us or harm us. It's truly all internal. And it's internal because we have to believe it, we have to work with it, we have to know it. And then things happen. Things happen with just making a decision, right? So they're setting up a stage here when they say this, but then it's they, meaning my higher self. We can be that frequency. We could be that tower. We are that tower. We've just been programmed to think that it's different, that it's different than us. So whether it's a low frequency or not, we're still it. So be the tower, be the chemtrail, be the president, be it, whatever it is. Change the energy from within. So you're the tower, you're the frequency, and you literally imagine you being there, and you're changing the energy from within. And they use the word infiltrate, which was amazing. Infiltrate from within. Be it. Change it from that place instead of going outside of ourselves. Be it, because it's all right here. So I think this is a step up from where we were when we're saying shoot this energy out, and there's going to be a time and a place for that too. I'm not going to say that you don't do that, but that right there, that's a whole different game. Never felt that or was given that information. So infiltrate from within. Being that which you are already, that you already are. Just being that. You're already that. Go do something about it. That was amazing. So you can change and manipulate the energy from within. We are so powerful. I know I say it probably every single time I'm on camera. But we are so powerful. We are the divine. We are the divine being. We are the silk thread already. You are already fluid. When we finally realize this, when we come to terms of who we are, we're going to move like water. But our gifts are going to finally come online. They're going to become more powerful because we're more fluid. I've said this for a really long time, and it still holds today. You have to be it to become it. Think about that. You already have to be it. Just be it. If you want to be wealthy, then act like you're wealthy. Feel the wealth. Don't hold back. You have to be it to become it. You have to feel it. This is going to be the same thing. You have to be that tower. You become it.
That's the same thing. Being at the higher frequencies, not at the lower doubting frequencies.
Yes. Or in a frequency where I'm helpless, right? There's situations like, what are we going to do about the presidency? We can do a lot with this, right? This is probably why they didn't want us to know this. So imagine yourself being that tower and changing the frequency, not just any frequency, choose a frequency. And this came later, but choose a love frequency. The 432, right? The 432 hertz sending out to everyone instead of disturbing our body frequency. We're now sending out the love from those towers. That's just brilliant, says me, right? We'll use their technology, thank you very much, to send out our stuff. They also said something in here, which was another really profound thing. We were talking about a certain place in Switzerland that goes around and round and smashes things. And we had had plenty of information coming about that place. And the image, she was asking about that, and I'm trying to be careful here. So, but the answer was, imagine hundreds of thousands of people standing hand in hand in that circumference of
17-mile circumference.
17 mile, right? So all holding hands, all joining in with this love frequency, right?
Putting light out because the darkness can't survive in the light.
To disturb other frequencies, right? So they know to disturb our frequency, but now let's turn around and disturb their frequencies. And so we can do that by imagining all those people around. Those people don't have to actually be there. But because we have called into this realm, even though we call it imagination, we'll get to that in a minute, we're generating that energy just from that image. We're generating 100,000 people holding hands in that. Now, we could do that with anything. So just us imagining that energy, it's done. It's equivalent to a prayer, a mantra, except there's an action to it. We've put a image in place. So when they said that's just as good as calling up all hundreds of thousands of friends and having a meet over to Switzerland, so I thought that was another really interesting idea.
And the fact that we could totally disrupt what they were trying to do with our energy because it was so much higher
Yeah,
and so much more powerful than theirs.
yeah. It would, yes, it would shut them down, actually. It could disrupt what they're trying to do if it was nefarious, right? So if anything, and we rise above those things anyway, by the way. That's another thing we're going to talk about. So, excuse me, we have been under an illusion, right? That we're weak, that our imagination is false and childlike, that we have no power, that psychic abilities you find at a fair. This is all the illusion to keep us powerless. So we don't try to do these things, right? Can you imagine us all coming online and us all being psychic and seeing everything they're doing? That would not be a good situation. It would be a great situation for us, but not for them. So why do you think that they pose all these things that makes the people who already are online with their gifts look silly, made fun of, to keep us down? Mm-hmm. Who wants to be made fun of, right? So this is what the awakening is really truly about here. Learning really who we are. Not just the connection, but that we can communicate. That the answer is not outside of us, it's inside of us. The realization that we're just our higher self, or that silk thread projecting. We heard the word during this, and we're not going to go down talking about this, but that basically describing it as we're the holograms, right? So we're being projected onto this earth basically with our consciousness. So the awakening, learning who we are, becoming enlightened. Now, when we learn to communicate with our higher self, the next step is to truly communicate with God. And you can call it whatever you want. Creator. Doesn't matter what you call it. It is a singular creator of all that we come from, says me, and that we are a part of, and that we are fragmented. And someone said something extremely, I think it was J.R. Spina. He said, we are fractals of God. Now, if you don't know what a fractal is, imagine a hologram, like a little picture. You can cut those up, and in just a tiny, tiny piece, you have the whole picture. That is exactly what we are. We are a fractal. So we are it in a small form. Small g's, same thing. That is the creator of all things in our multi-universe. That is, it's the all that we know of. We are a part of that all that we know of. So the awakening is the reveal of how this world differs from who we are. And watching it being an observer, a witness of it, not being engaging and not being in fear of it. This is truly us witnessing and revealing, so we have the opportunity. And that was the other, that's an operative word that they kept on pointing to, was there's opportunities. There's windows of opportunities for you to wake up. Wake up to what we can be and wake up to our gifts. Because our gifts it's a part of us. It's innate. It comes with us. So we're here to witness and observe what is different out there than us. We are the love frequency. That's what we want to experience. What is different is being destroyed in this moment, is being revealed in this moment. And so only be the observer. Even when I come up with the new stuff, right? It's to help us awaken, not for us to be in fear. It is for us to be an observer of and say, well, that's not what I want. So off you go. And that is, be it. Bye-bye. Like, seriously.
It's be what you want to be.
Be what you want to be. What you
and
choose.
what you want the world to be. That's what we need to be creating.
Exactly. Just lost it. Never mind. We are truly divine beings. It's just the illusion that we're not. You are the silk thread. So, in closing, I want to maybe help progress or understand this awakening, steps to awakening. And I decided to do something that may heal you. And this is in practice of being it, right? Infiltrate, which I love. Infiltrate that energy, change it. So right now as you sit, choose a part of your body that's very tense. Neck, shoulders, back, maybe something's in pain. Something that's tense that you really do, like, focus in on it for a moment. Close your eyes. Choose a part of that body. Imagine there's a miniature you inside your body. And let's say it's your neck. Go to that point that you have chosen. See yourself going into that area and literally untying the knots, unraveling the muscles, relaxing them, soothing them, loving them, straightening them, making them pliable again. If it's pain, same thing, that whatever this is just being taken care of. That little you is inside your body. It is you. You are the healer. You know exactly what to do. So if it's a knot, it unties it. If it's stress, it soothes it. If it pains, it relieves it. And it does whatever it needs to do. Now, don't worry about the little you. Now, just be in the focus of what it's feeling like. Feel the knots releasing. Feel the pain leaving your body. Feel the muscles being smoothed. That's the only thing you have to focus in on. You don't have to worry about what's being done. You feel the result of what happened. Just allow. Now, this is just a small example of what we're capable of. You just infiltrated your body. You changed the energy. You made an image that took an action in your body. The awakening process is that you believe that you know that to be true, that you know that's your power, that that's a part of your special gift as a human being, that you are a part of the all energy, all things that we know, and you have power over them. And when you start testing that and feeling that, using your imagination, making an action, feeling it to be you in your body, be in that, once you're it, be in that gratitude, be in that love frequency. Therefore, you've changed that energy. So, we'll probably be doing more of these videos because we did download a lot of information, and Holly really is good at coming up with questions. I don't know what those questions are prior to, by the way. She's all on her own when she brings them to the table. And they really are for global good and for the awakening. It's very insightful information, and I can certainly tell this is for us to share out there to everyone. So I hope this helped. We thank you so much for being with us tonight or today, wherever you are. But I encourage you to try this, just one small step at a time. And once you see results, like I did that exercise today and I felt my neck relax. Once you really feel results, the belief starts to build in you. So it's one step at a time. We can't go from 0 to 110. It takes a moment. But we're all in this together and we're all learning. So I appreciate you. Namaste.